Hello, everybody. Welcome to the NC Podcast. My name is Natasha Collins, and I am the host and founder of NC Real Estate, which includes its members club for landlords and property investors to come and build profitable property portfolios that completely align with their goals. Final point for this year. If you haven't already got my property investment expansion success formula, you need to do that. So you need to go to ncrealestate.co.uk/flowchart. That's ncrealestate.co.uk/flowchart. Put in your name and your email address, and I will send that through to you. It's the guide that you need to know what's going to happen every single time you need to make a property investment decision. You can just follow the flowchart and know which way you are going. Okay. So now you've got your flowchart. I am going to move on to this last and final podcast of the year, which you all know I take Christmas off. So this is being pre-recorded a few days before Christmas. And I have Lorenza back on the podcast. Hey.
Hello. Thanks for having me back here, Natasha. It's been quite a while.
It has been quite a while. So for those of you who don't know, Lorenza Allen is the community manager over in the members club. And Lorenza has been working with me since the, should I say, conception of NCRE?
Yeah, basically. I mean, it was I think you probably started a couple of months before, but not very much. 2016. So it's been a while.
It has been a long time.
And here we are.
End of 2019, still going strong. Things have changed.
So many changes. Yeah, I was about to say unbelievable amount of changes, revolutions. And just, in 2019, especially, changing platforms, for example.
Yes.
has been a big one, and a successful change, I think.
Yeah.
Streamlining, it's all about kind of user experience, and I think there's been lots of positive feedback from members, so it was good.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we within the members club, we were using a platform for the first 2 years of the members club, which was fine, and it worked fine, didn't it? It was okay. Yeah. And then we were introduced to a new platform for members club areas, and we looked at it and we were like, oh, we have to move across to the new platform, and we have to make it look so beautiful and pretty. And when we started doing it, it was just this whole overwhelm of
huge,
how do we get everybody across? And we were doing it around the time that I was getting married. I think we did it in June, and I was getting married in July, and we just decided that we were going to go for it before we did any more launches for the end of the year. And that was quite, as far as this year went, that was quite of a monumental shift in the members club, I think.
Yes.
But it looks beautiful, and now we're there without any kind of
issues
for the first time in a long time. And we were just talking before we came on this podcast, and we were thinking, well, what did we do this year in the members club? We completely changed platforms.
Yeah, and it's actually funny to think that at the time, it was really a daunting task. It was very time consuming. Natasha and I were speaking constantly about, okay, how do we do this? What part have you done? It was really, we worked very hard on it, and kind of now 6 months later, I forgot about it. Everything was working so smoothly. It's like we've always been here.
I know.
So I think that's actually an interesting point to take when challenges and, kind of big projects that have a big deadline come about, is that, there is light on the other side. And just kind of create a really good plan and try to organize yourself and just be focused, and you do actually pull through. So
and we kind of got in with the mindset that done is better than perfect, and we would learn along the way with our members and what they found were good and what they didn't find were good, and trying to pull everything across and making sure that the user experience was far more streamlined because we have the whole
Yes.
questionnaire sequence now, don't we? When members first come on board, go through a questionnaire so they know exactly what they need to do. Really easy to go through all of the where the Facebook group is and where you can book one-to-ones and how you know what to jump into. So from that point of view, I think it's definitely worked well. And obviously, there's kind of main sections, and not everybody, it's basically just organized better into what do you really need. And you kind of work and focus on certain aspects as opposed to kind of like doing all of the packages, which would take a couple of years probably. So it's very focused now around individual user experiences, which is fabulous. And there's far better search option in it as well, right?
Yes. No. It's been a all round positive move. So that's also good. So I kind of want to ask you a couple of questions, and obviously my own input, since we work so closely together. So obviously I know a lot of what's going on, but just to kind of round off the year, get a bit of a general overview. Was hoping to discuss some of the highs and lows. And okay, so kind of, can you relate some of the biggest changes that have happened to the members, to the members on the members club? So kind of aside from maybe their property portfolios, which we'll come to later, so this question has a lot to do with the kind of emotional, psychological, their internal progress. How have you seen, like, what main shifts have there been, with your members?
It's the confidence, and it's the perseverance even when things get tough, which I've really been inspired by my members this year as well, because they ask me questions and we give help, and we will help and we will guide you in the right direction. And it's that deciding that actually you're going to go for it rather than shrink back and go, I'm too scared to do this, and just give it a go. We've seen that across the board. We've seen that with Rob, who had a couple of deals go south at the beginning of the year and get back up and decide that actually, do you know what? They weren't meant for me. I'm going to go for the next deal and the next deal, and putting in offers and going back out on viewings, and putting aside that, okay, you still spent a lot of time on the previous deals, but that grit and determination to move forward means that he's ending the year actually flying high, under offer, finding good finance options, which is phenomenal considering where he started the year and was, by about June, July, was despondent because 2 deals had fallen through. But it's that getting back on that horse and going again. We've seen that with Venetia, who when she came to the members club told me that, you know what, Natasha, I don't want to buy anymore. I just need to streamline my portfolio. And I don't know if I've got the money to do the next thing. And all of a sudden we found a really interesting way of funding her next property investments through gifted deposits from a family member, which worked incredibly well. And she's been able to buy another 2 properties this year.
Yes.
It's rather than thinking inside the box of what you normally hear that you do, you remortgage a property, you take the equity out, you go find a property, you put the money in, go again. That system isn't what the market is allowing you to do right now. And so you have to have the mindset that every single challenge you get to, you're going to figure out a solution. And that all starts with your gut. That's honestly, if your gut feeling is telling you that this is the right property, then that will move you forward. If your gut instinct, and I do say this a lot, if your gut is saying to you, this isn't right for me, you're not going to have the passion and the drive to move forward. And that's what I'm finding with the members who build and grow and continue to ask questions. Their gut is telling them that actually this is something that they are doing right. And so it's worth fighting for. And that is the main shift that I have seen this year. Or not even the shift in the members, they've always had that. But I'm starting to learn that actually, if a member says to me, I feel like this is the right deal, this is what I should be going for, we know over here, no matter what, we will make sure that we can find you the avenues to go through so that you can get that deal. And
solutions,
solutions, because property is a transaction. It's not life or death. So there's always a way of figuring it out. So all I need from my members is that commitment from them that actually they feel that this is right. And once I know that that's where they are and that's where their headspace is, we can sort whatever you need out. And so that's something huge that I've actually learned from my members this year, I think, because we know that there's always those solutions because we can find them. We have finance contacts, we have contacts who can sort out any different problem, and we can point you in the right direction, and we can give you the advice and the knowledge. And so that's been huge.
Okay, great. Yeah, I like a lot of what you said there, and I can relate to a lot. And I mean, I keep thinking, oh, and this member did this, and this member did this. But right, before we get to which member did what, I want to ask, what were a couple of your absolute top highs for this year?
In the members club, or
all right, well, let's I mean, there's just been big changes all over the place. So let's start. Why don't you give us a couple of your highs in your kind of personal life, or some things that have been revolutionary and a big impact for you?
So this year has been another momentous year. I feel like I've achieved a lot and I forget about a lot that we've done. Getting married and organising that from abroad was huge, and it was almost like I didn't believe that it was happening.
Yes.
I organise things. I'm quite organised, and then there was a point where I got to and I was like, no more. That's it. This is what's happening. Chris and I have decided we're not doing any more. We don't need any more. Like that's done. That was, and it was such a good party. You were there.
It was great. Hey, you didn't ask me what my highlights are yet, but that was definitely one of my highlights of the year. I loved being in Bath. I loved attending the wedding. I loved meeting your family and just being part of the celebrations. I did have a small tear in the ceremony room. Don't tell anyone. So it was really touching and just beautifully organized. It was very special.
And the venue, my gosh.
Yeah, beautiful.
Like,
so it's the assembly room. Okay, yeah. I mean, Bath is just such an interesting place. It's kind of majestic, but then it's got this kind of low-key feeling. And then the cobbled streets and like the bookshops, and I mean, okay. So when am I moving to Bath? Is the next question, basically.
I think I've got a vacant flat down there. You want it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you never know.
No, you never know.
So okay, so obviously getting married was a big one.
Amazing. That was a big one. Definitely making progress on things that like the members club, and having more confidence in what I was doing. I think my confidence has grown because I've started really believing in myself as a boss, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. And I found previously that I was kind of struggling and figuring out how my whole worlds fit in together, and everything I do is property related, but trying to balance everything and getting that balance was always really difficult because of university lecturing and investing and running a property portfolio. I've always had a lot going on, and having the confidence that actually the members club is my baby. Like I started this is all of me put into the property industry, and this is what I want the property industry to look like. And this year kind of cemented that for me, that I was doing that in the right way. It was how I wanted the property industry to look, how I felt that I could give back and support property investors. And so I've felt like that's really grown this year. This podcast has seriously taken off this year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, really.
It's
really
wild.
doing well. And I think it's a lot about getting guest speakers in. Like it's just adding huge positive contributions, I think, to people's lives. I think it's really helping, and it's just fun, actually. I think people do enjoy listening to it, and I mean, as much as you enjoy creating them. So yeah, that's definitely been and also changing that platform.
Yes, we switched over. I'm sure all of you who listen to the podcast have heard Anchor running their ads, or me running Anchor ads on here, and Anchor have been incredibly supportive of this podcast. They've very much believed in it. They've really helped me find other sponsorships. Occasionally you'll hear sponsorships from other podcasts as well. That's all Anchor collaborations, and that's just grown with the podcast. That's not actually me necessarily focusing on going out and finding sponsorships, because I firmly believe that, you know, this podcast is part of the brand. It's part of my property investment brand. It's part of NC Real Estate, although it's under the NC Podcast. And then having people come on and chat to me about the most interesting things.
Really interesting. Yeah.
So interesting. I mean, Lorenza, you listen to them all because you helped me get them out, and you really help publicize them. And the level of information and knowledge of people who come over and openly share on the podcast is just amazing.
I mean, I think, and just so many different ideas and ways of doing things. And it connects back to, you know, when I kind of asked what's happened to members, and also to yourself, to you know, really change and develop, as these people are just contributing so much and in such an open way, like you said, and also hearing about their personal lives is really fascinating, and how people are doing property on one side, and then on the other side, you know, farming, whatever the case is. Do check a couple of podcasts back for that one.
Yeah, with Greg. Yeah. Oh my God, and it's so inspiring.
I just loved it. Yeah, so inspiring.
Do you follow his Instagram?
I don't as yet. I took a brave move. It was part of my changes of this year, but I did delete Instagram off my phone. So I still can access it I still have my account and I access it online. But it's kind of like more for work. I use the Instagram and Facebook just for work. But I would like to go and have a little peek and see what he's up to.
I have to admit that Instagram has been another change. I don't know whether positive or negative, but I decided to have more fun with Instagram rather than constantly be putting out all the property investment stuff. And I know that for you guys who follow me on Instagram, thank you for being over there and following me. And I appreciate that I put a lot of my more personal things about what I'm doing during the day. Sometimes I do stories, sometimes I'm not. But I completely took the pressure off Instagram, because I like it. I love that my feed has got beautiful images in it. And yes, I do go and play around with them on Lightroom because I enjoy doing that. It's like,
it's creative.
It's being creative. And it's not like I touch it up or Photoshop it. It's honestly how I look. But I like playing around with the different colors because I think that's really interesting, and then it helps me to figure out what colors I like in my brand. And so from that point of view, my feed maybe is, I would say, highlights reel on the fact that I like putting color in there, but everything in the comments is definitely what's going on in my life and all of the beautiful, you know, things or the bad things that are going on. Stories I use sporadically. Do you know, I find when I'm working and I'm actually focused on something, I don't get my phone out. I don't know about you, but I don't. No. I have to put it away. I can't be sat here storying and then me like doing tribunal documents or something. It's just no. So I've had to really get over that, and I would like to share more of what I'm doing property related, but honestly, sometimes it can be so complicated that I don't, you know. And for example, yesterday I paid my tax for the year. I mean, what I would love to celebrate that. Yay! But would you take a picture of? Yes. Yeah. You know, like,
maybe you're drinking like a big green juice or glass of wine.
Glass of wine. And you know, and I forget to take my phone out for parties. I had a massive cake decorating party with some people in my building last night to ice our Christmas cakes. I put my phone away because I wanted to chat to people and have a
be
glass
there,
of wine
exactly.
and be present. And I can't do that if I'm like, wait, everybody get in place for a selfie. I
Yes.
forget. So I've taken the
there might be some solutions to that. For example, just keeping your phone on like the mantelpiece or something on the windowsill, and having it on like a timer so that every now and again it takes a shot. No, that's not actually a solution. But I totally understand what you mean. I always mean to take photos when I take my son, for example, to a little kiddies party, and I want to kind of remember these moments where the kids blowing out the candle, and it's just so great. But then I maybe have like one kind of blurry image because there was a cup of juice falling, or I wasn't able to get like that perfect shot. So rather kind of be there in the moment, and then, as you say, just take it easy, relax, be creative with it. When it's the right time, it'll happen. So that, I think, it's a really positive approach. Okay, so going back to the highs. So give us one more, perhaps more of a property related.
So I've had quite a few property related highs this year. So buying the project in New Jersey and going through that, and again, that's been, I'm going to touch wood here, that has been a really easy project. So I'm not going to speak too soon. Touch wood. And everybody's heard the podcast with Isaac. He's such a good joint venture partner of mine, and we get on like a house on fire. Currently, the whole project has been kind of torn out from the inside. There's nothing to see. I'd love to be over there again, like Instagramming it all, but there is no point me schlepping up to New Jersey to just show you an inside demolished house. They're digging down in the basement right now. We've got another 2 foot that we're going down. You can't get in there right now because it's not safe. They don't allow you in there. So that's what's happening, and I can talk to you about it because that's what is happening. I've seen the designs. I shared the designs in the members club. I'm more than happy to put a couple of pictures out about that as well. I forget because I'm going through all of these documents, I'm filing them properly, and I'm being an organized surveyor, and I'm like, I haven't put any of this out. But again, it's just me like going through the motions of what I would do with project management. So that's actually a really nice property. As it comes together and it gets rebuilt on the inside, it's going to be gorgeous. I'll show you around. Today it's -8. I'm not going to go up there and have a look around. They will develop up until about -10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a promise of -10 happening soon?
Yeah, it's about to fall into deep winter, and it's fine. They'll keep going over Christmas as well because we're using. We've got a Jewish development company. They'll shut for Hanukkah, but then they're open again for Christmas because they don't celebrate it. So they just keep building, and we'll go now until May. That's been a really interesting project, just because it's my first learning experience of US real estate. That's it. Like that is as simple as that is. So that's been awesome. Having the opportunity to buy the flat above mine in Bath, I had put that in my goals book way back in 2015. This is, and I just left it. I've not even thought about it. But I'd said to myself, and it was written in there, if the other flats in that particular building, because that building is so central in Bath, honestly, you cannot be more central than that building. If the other flats came up, I would make a effort to buy them. And then this one came up, and I thought to myself, I have to do it no matter what. So that was when I kind of put the determination in my mind and was like, yes,
that was an amazing, it was an amazing process. And there is a podcast on that.
Yes,
as well.
There is a podcast on that. So if you want to listen to that, go back a couple of
amazing journey.
So that's been pretty amazing. That has honestly worked out really well. Again, touch wood, that will exchange. This podcast will go out on the final, I think this podcast is going out on New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah, it is on the 31st.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So this will have exchanged by the time this podcast goes out, hopefully. We are exchanging on the 23rd of December, and that's the last possible day that we can exchange this year. So touch wood, it all goes through.
Touch wood, hold thumbs, twist your ears, pull your hair.
So that's been a really good experience. So there's been loads of highs. I got my my qualification to actually be a proper lecturer. That was great. Finished that off. I felt like that had been hanging over me for a while, so I was glad to get that done. Won a couple of awards for being a good lecturer. I really was proud of that. That was awesome. Oh, and when we found little Oscar, our kitten, I mean, what a nice way to kind of round off the end of the year. We were not expecting it. We were not going to go out and actively find another pet. It wasn't in our remit. But having him,
and I don't think you weren't even intending. I think you were intending to foster him for a while. Before. Oh, was it a keeper from? The
minute we decided to take him to the vets and start paying his vet's bill was the time where we were in it for the long haul. That was for sure. And he is very cute, but for anybody who's had a kitten before, this running up your legs. Oh my gosh!
Oh, sweet.
But anyway, it's been great. Our honeymoon was amazing when we went down south, and we went to New Orleans and Nashville, Memphis. So we've had some really great highs this year. So that's some of them. I don't think it covers it all, because I think
no.
This year seems to have spanned an eternity, but it's been a productive year, that's for sure.